And nigga, be real to yourself before you real with anybody else. YouTube, what's the big old deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy. We back at it, man. Jay-Z, man. All I can say is, let me just say this: Jay-Z is innocent until proven guilty. Make no doubt about it. But we got to start looking at the blowback that Buzz been shooting back at Jay-Z's legal team. Y'all gotta understand something, man. And before we get into this reaction, homie, let me just say this, because not only is Beyonce going through a lot of scrutiny right now, but the kids too. You see what I'm saying? Like, the decisions you make will affect your future. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, don't mess up your for sure for a maybe. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess up your for sure for a maybe, man. If she your if she go, man, you stay with the one that's go, man. It ain't. Hey, the grass ain't green on the other side, man. It's straight. It's spray paint. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it, man. Beyonce, like, think about it. He told her that it was going to be done. Oh, we finna file. Like, Buzbee knew what he was doing, man. Let me just say this, man. Tony Buzbee, man, I can honestly say I'm very impressed on how you know, he's a gangster with a suit, like, you know, on a professional level way. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, with this way these disputes take place is like Crips and Bloods, except, you know, they filing lawsuits. It's about a bag. Everything is about the money. It must be the money. Because for some reason, Jay-Z's team, like, I definitely could say Jay-Z team is definitely, they playing ball. You see what I'm saying? They Jay-Z's legal team have tried to expose Tony Buzbee in regards of his DUI pictures, getting ex-women that he used to date to make these allegations. And listen, homie, and this is why it's kind of looking bad for Jay-Z's team, because you guys paid people to portray public officials. Y'all paid some people to portray, state officials, public officials. Y'all paid people to do that. That is definitely it's not gonna look good in court, man. So looking at this, man, and looking at what Beyonce going through, you know, people, families is involved, right? Don't mess up your for sure for a maybe, because Jay-Z is the biggest of them all. You see what I'm saying? And right now, you know, cuz, like, man, come on, man. He feel it. It's impossible not to feel this. You see what I'm saying? But let's get into it, man. Y'all know how we coming, man. You know, I dropped them dimes before we get into this reaction. So let's fall in, man. Let's go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go.
Becoming a public spectacle. Piping hot when it comes to Tony Buzbee and Jay-Z. Let's get into it. We have to start with where we left off. We know that Jay-Z's team gave a deadline to have the judge grant an emergency motion, a response from the Buzbee team to drop this lawsuit involving the then 13-year-old woman that made accusations against Jay-Z. Now, emergency motion, we have not heard from the judge yet, but what we do have is something from the Buzbee team, a letter to the judge that was released this morning. In addition to the letter that Buzbee's team released this morning, we also have a crazy thing that happened. We have a lawsuit that was filed by a woman alleging that Buzbee gave her an STD, and it was filed yesterday. I mean, this case is starting to get a little bit outrageous and legally crazy. Let's jump into it. This is from the Buzbee law firm, dated today, December 20th. Dear Judge Torres, by letter motion filed on December 13th, 2024, defendant Sean Carter notified the court of his intention to file a motion to strike and a motion for sanctions immediately under Rules 11C2 and 12F. As with the defendant Carter's prior letters filed in this case, it is historic in tone, substantively groundless. Defendant Carter threatens plaintiff with a Rule 11 motion based on questions raised by one single television interview concerning events occurring 24 years ago when plaintiff was 13 years old. Defendant Carter also asked this court to alter the federal rules of civil.
So y'all got to understand something, right? So this Jane Doe. All right, so let's look at it like this. This Jane Doe that everybody's talking about, oh, she's lying. Her statements is inconsistent. She was 13 years old. Not to mention a 13-year-old girl who I believe she has special needs. You see what I'm saying? And 13 years old and having autism. Come on, man. It don't take a rocket scientist for a judge to be like, wait a minute. This young lady has a special condition with her, and she was 13. It's impossible for you to expect somebody who has autism, to remember what took place decades ago. This we talking about, man. These people are grown with kids at this point. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that she got special needs, come on, man. We looking at this shit like, okay, cool. Now I know what they own. Because why? That looks like a setup. That to me, that's a play. You see what I'm saying? That don't just happen by accident. Jay-Z's team thought they had it in the bag. They thought it was all good. They like, oh man, man, they not even thinking that, wait a minute. This they just thinking 13-year-old little girl. They're not even thinking that this girl has, a special condition. She has something that the average young lady don't have. Any judge, I would assume, to be like, wait a minute, we ain't gonna just throw this shit out. She got a special condition. You see what I'm saying? So all they have to do is vet her story. You know what I'm saying? If it can meet certain agendas and timelines, it don't have to be accurate. It don't have to look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she got to remember everything, quote unquote, word by word. It don't have to be that. So looking at this right here, man, just let you know that Jay-Z's legal team jumped the gun. They jumped the gun. You know what I'm saying? They jumped out, chest out, chin up, posture up, and they was ready for war. But it's looking like Tony Buzbee's team is like, they're calculated. They making some little hood moves and shit. These niggas is really playing on a gangster level with the law. See, y'all gotta understand something about the law. Everybody knows that that's the biggest gangster of them all. Autism. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You can't throw out her statement. She's willing to take. First of all, she's not even asking for money. This was never about money. They want to have mediation with Jay-Z's team. Jay-Z team, like, man, we ain't pulling up over there. Nah, man, it's a money grab. Just no money was even presented. They didn't even get a chance to even have litigation. They didn't have enough. It was like, nah, I mean, we just like with Ramel. Ramel was saying, hey, listen, I don't even want no money. Just come take the DNA test and you go, honor my mother for telling the truth. You saying that my mama is lying, she didn't have sex with you when she was underage and I was born. Just come, I don't even want no money, but acknowledge me as your son. Jay-Z said, nah, I'm not even doing it. Well, to make sure I'm clear, Jay-Z is definitely innocent until proven guilty, right? But I'm starting to sit back with the binoculars and I'm watching this unfold. Listen, Jay-Z is under fire right now. They coming. And think about it. If this was a smash and grab Jay-Z, this would have been removed. This started from Diddy. They're tying the links from Diddy to Jay-Z. Jay-Z's legal team said that they didn't have no friendship. He wasn't friends with Diddy. But when you look, what you don't go to basketball games and white parties and drinking. Come on, bro. Like that was personal. Let's get it.
Procedure in strike and a motion for sanctions immediately under rules 11C2 and 12F. As with the defendant Carter's prior letters filed in this case, it is historic in tone, substantively groundless. Defendant Carter threatens plaintiff with a Rule 11 motion based on questions raised by one single television interview concerning events occurring 24 years ago when plaintiff was 13 years old. Defendant Carter also asked this court to alter the federal rules of civil procedure in his favor by abrogating the mandatory 21-day Rule 11 safe harbor period without a legal support of factual justification whatsoever. The former is frivolous and the latter is impermissible. So real quick explaining that,
if you're completely ripped and shredded like me, and you're not making at least $10K a month, What do you
Last time we were here, guys, I explained to you what Rule 11 is from the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. It is Law School 101 in Civil Procedure. Rule 11 means that as an attorney, anything that you put in a legal document must be as factual as possible for you as a lawyer to sign your name on the very last page. We cannot lie to the court. There needs to be candor to the tribunal. Now, what happens, and the reason why Rule 11 was brought up, the reason why Sean Carter's team is calling this a violation of Rule 11 is because there were inconsistencies in what was filed in the initial lawsuit versus what was said on this NBC interview. And here, Buzbee is correct that there is a safe harbor period of 21 days to review the allegations of a Rule 11 violation. Defendant Carter's threat of a Rule 11 motion is frivolous because it characterizes run-of-the-mill disputes of facts as proof that plaintiff's complaint is baseless. None of the factual issues Carter identifies are sufficient even to grant summary judgment in Carter's favor, much less support Rule 11 sanctions. The fact that the defendant or a potential witness does not agree or recollect the facts alleged in the complaint does not and cannot give rise to a motion for sanctions for filing a baseless complaint. Defendant Carter's threat of an immediate sanction motion on the first whisper of factual uncertainty is just one more instance of bullying intended to have a chilling effect on the plaintiff's counsel, and any potential plaintiffs watching these proceedings. A Rule 11 motion is frivolous on the additional ground that expecting a victim of sexual assault over decades ago when the victim was a minor and as her interview.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on, Jay. Now, let me just say this. Jay-Z's legal team, man, they playing, first of all, listen, not only are they fighting for Jay-Z, but they also attacking Tony Buzbee character. You see what I'm saying? Y'all pulling out old DUI photos of him. Y'all paying his ex little fling that he might have dogged out, might have, hit that thing a couple times, got rid of her. Listen, Tony Buzbee got some money, man. Tony Buzbee is not no small-time lawyer. And I think because we're compared to how much money Jay-Z got, we thinking Tony Buzbee like, oh yeah, it's small fries to a Big Mac. That's not the case here, man. When we looking at, first of all, Jay-Z is getting a run for his money. He getting his money worth, man. They fighting over there. But we also got to take it and look like, damn, Tony Buzbee, like this nigga, like it's like a, he got some. His rebuttal is like some gangsters. Like he hood with it though. You know what I'm saying? Like these legal docs, man, listen, these lawsuits and these motions and all of this. This could have been, man, look, all they had to do was go to mediation with the Jane Doe who alleged, the minor who said that Jay-Z and Diddy, did they 1-2 with her, right? They're not going to throw this case out. They're not going to throw that out because at the end of the day, she has autism and she was 13 years old. Now, we're not sure. I don't know who that young lady was in the VMAs when Diddy was like, you coming to the after hour? We don't know who that is, right? We don't even care. But at the same time, there are other people involved with that party, man. I think Tony Buzbee got something. I don't think a judge, I'm not no lawyer. I'm just a street dude that just comprehend real well. I can comprehend very well. But to my knowledge of understanding, it would be crazy for a judge to throw this shit out knowing that this minor has special conditions. She was 13, autism. This was, man, what, 20-something years ago? We talking about 20. 20. How can you expect a 13-year-old little girl with autism to remember something 20 years, now she's, 20 years later, y'all expect her to remember what everything that took place. Only thing they have to do is place her at one of those locations that Jay-Z was there, and that's all they have. And they can proceed. You see what I'm saying? So I tell y'all right now, man, don't mess up yo for show for a maybe. And this is exactly why I say to any young dude that be watching right now that's in the streets, listen, the decisions you make today will affect your future. You see what I'm saying? Don't mess up yo for show for a maybe, man, because yo maybe lead you for show. And that's just how the game go. You understand me? Let's go one time, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up in the live. Yeah, man, shout out to the team, man. Let's go.
The reason why Sean Carter's team is calling this a violation of Rule 11 is because there were inconsistencies in what was filed in the initial lawsuit versus what was said on this NBC interview. And here, Buzbee is correct that there is a safe harbor period of 21 days to review the allegations of a Rule 11 violation. Defendant Carter's threat of a Rule 11 motion is frivolous because it characterizes run-of-the-mill disputes of facts as proof that plaintiff's complaint is baseless. None of the factual issues Carter identifies are sufficient even to grant summary judgment in Carter's favor, much less support Rule 11 sanctions. The fact that the defendant or a potential witness does not agree or recollect the facts alleged in the complaint does not and cannot give rise to a motion for sanctions for filing a baseless complaint. Defendant Carter's threat of an immediate sanction motion on the first whisper of factual uncertainty is just one more instance of bullying intended to have a chilling effect on the plaintiff's counsel, and any potential plaintiffs watching these proceedings. A Rule 11 motion is frivolous on the additional ground that expecting a victim of sexual assault over decades ago, when the victim was a minor, and as her interview revealed, autistic, to have perfect recall of the fact is outrageous. Defendant Carter's twist plaintiff's words when he accuses her, for instance, of guessing what the timeline events alleging in the complaint, such as the length of car rides. But New York courts have expressly acknowledged that plaintiffs in this type of case cannot be expected to have an exacting recall and command of all the relevant facts. There is no basis for a Rule 11 motion here. And if filed, such a motion would in itself subject a Rule 11 motion in response. Of course, we cannot prevent Defendant Carter from wasting the resources of this court and all parties in pursuing one. However, Defendant Carter's request that the court shorten the filing deadline for his threatened Rule 11 motion from 21 days to 1 day is entirely improper. Carter fails to cite any precedent whatsoever to support this astonishing request, because there is none. Carter fails to cite any reason why the federal rules of civil procedure should be abrogated in his favor in this particular case. Again, there is none. The 21-day safe harbor rule under Rule 11 exists to provide parties and counsel time to assess the objections being made, to withdraw or modify a pleading or other paper if necessary. The safe harbor period has been recognized by the Second Circuit as a strict professional requirement. From the outset, Defendant Carter and his counsel have shrilly maintained an entitlement to different rules and faster procedures, from expedited briefing on the issue of anonymity and a summary dismissal of plaintiff's complaint to now a wholesale elimination of the 21-day safe harbor rule under Rule 11. In such instance, the goal has been to blur the facts and rush a decision. But there is an aggressive advocacy, and then there is bad faith. Mr. Carter's latest tactics, much like his open threat to refer plaintiffs' attorneys for disciplinary actions, cross that line. Moreover,
man, Jay-Z thought, listen, man, he's not, listen. Yes, Tony Buzbee is swimming with the big fish at this point, bro. It's no getting around it, right? Jay-Z's claim that everything is baseless. Everything that this young lady have said has been nothing but a lie. This is not him. He acting like he ashamed that he's even getting caught up in this situation. I just find it ironic that some 13-year-old little girl who is an adult now, who runs a Christian organization, this lady has military background, this Jane Doe, you would think, like, wait a minute, what would she get out of lying? First of all, you part of a Christian organization, like, you embarrassing yourself at this point. But the fact that she volunteered to take a polygraph test, still to this day, she's saying, I don't want no bread. I ain't, nigga, man, hey, look, hey, you keep the bread. I don't want it like that. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I want you to pay for what you did. Now, once again, Jay-Z is definitely innocent until proven guilty. So if the claims with Jay-Z's legal team said that this was all baseless, right? Why haven't the judge dismissed this? You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z have not turned over any evidence to prove that it was baseless, that she's lying. They have a timestamp date of where he was, but that was a timeline that haven't even been verified. It haven't been vetted yet. So you can't use that in court. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at this, homie, and mind you, I'm not no lawyer. I'm just a street dude that just comprehend, and I pick up what people write down when it comes to this, because You know, I always had my eye on this. Like, man, you know, you never know when you go to jail and you don't know what them legal terms is. This is a legal battle right here. This is, listen, this is legal war. Make no doubt about it. These dudes are really fighting for their lives here. Not only their lives, their names. They like, man, they playing ball. And Jay-Z got some long money. You understand what I'm saying? Jay-Z got some long money, and Tony Buzbee is definitely a dude that can go up against him with him. He set this all up. This was a trap, bro. Like, think about this. He knows that Diddy's trial start January, the beginning of the year. He's lining this shit all the way up. It's a play. He pump fake 42 by even putting her out there. I mean, from what I would think, you gotta know that Jay-Z team was gonna eat this Jane Doe up by that video. That was, to me, I'm looking at it now, like, I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Like, come on, man. That wasn't no rookie move. This dude wasn't nah, man, come on. This dude is worth millions. Buzbee has his law firm is a big deal. Go look up his law firm. When I looked at that shit, he's not no little small firm. No, that nigga, they generate millions out that office. You see what I'm saying? He's the litigation king. He went with so many cases before he even landed in court. Like, the dude is a seasoned vet. He a big dog. He ain't no little fish out here. And I think we underestimating the level of what we looking at. I don't, you know, like I said, man, I'm just a street dude. And I'm like, man, I see how this game go. And I would advise any dude to, like, really pay attention to this, man. This can happen to you, and you might not have no idea on how to even handle this. This is some pressure, some big work. Let's go.
Outside of the courtroom, Mr. Carter has employed tactics of intimidation and harassment, even more extreme, tortious, and quite possibly illegal. My firm recently filed a lawsuit in Harris County, Texas, that details how Mr. Carter's company, Rock Nation, and his counsel have bribed my clients to file lawsuits against my firm, threatened former clients, impersonated state officials, and engaged in other behavior far beyond the pale of acceptable conduct. Their tactics won't work, and they will be addressed in more detail in connection with the party's briefing on plaintiff's anonymity. Like Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter is rich, famous, and powerful. Mr. Carter will exert all the pressure he can to intimidate and harass plaintiff, me, and anyone else. The chilling effect of those efforts is substantial, as is the potential chilling effect of a Rule 11 motion being bought in these circumstances. But ultimately, in our court system, the rules are the same for Mr. Carter and for the plaintiff here. And the Rule 11 safe harbor cannot be abrogated on his whim. Finally, Defendant Carter raises the status of my admission in the Southern District of New York, as with his previous letters to this court. His December 13th letter includes a substantial amount of defamatory suggestions about me, including that I am somehow attempting to circumvent the authority of this court to enforce Rule 11 against me.
So why do so many homes in Clark County need a flooring replacement? The number one reason is not.
That is nonsense. I am a member of the State Bar of New York and am admitted to the Eastern District of New York. Intend to apply for reciprocal admission to the Southern District. The fact that I have signed pleadings and letters filed in this court does not reflect any attempt by me to evade responsibility for anything. To the contrary, I have signed these pleadings and papers because I am lead counsel in this and similar cases pending the district. Respectfully, Tony Buzbee. So there you have it, guys. You have this openly notorious legal war happening between the Buzbee law firm and Rock Nation. It's getting ugly because now Buzbee is not backing down. However, he did have a responsibility to check a few things out. This is really about getting justice for one party and punishing the other party.
Man, hey, look, man. Hey, look, shout out to AV, man, to the 7th Power, man. Man, she's killing it. This is probably something that this is what she really do, man. I really start studying, you know, how you know how this real game work. But just looking back at this, y'all gotta realize there have not been any money on the opposite side. The other side still have not even presented money. This is not about money. You see what I'm saying? The young Jane Doe, she said, look, man, and she said it. If y'all heard in the interview, she was verbatim. She was like, I don't remember every detail. They knew, listen, think about this. She came in indecisive. You see what I'm saying? She came in unaware. But she knew something happened. She knew something took place. She cannot display the logistics, homie. She like, look, and hey, I don't remember everything, but I do remember this. Everybody that I'm saying, the time frames or the locations might not be exact, but I was there and this took place. You see what I'm saying? And they're gonna look at that and say, wait a minute. How old was this? She was 13 years old, Your Honor, and she has special needs. So boom, that's automatically they're gonna have compassion for that. They're not gonna say this girl lying. She got special. She's to the autism people in the world. Y'all are God's creation. God took his time when he made y'all. Let me just say that for a second. I had the luxury to be around autism as well, and I see the challenges that happen, and that's one of the things that you got to have a strong mindset on, homie, and understand that hey, that's some serious stuff. That's a special condition. You know what I'm saying? So any judge would probably, all right, carry on. This case is not, look, this is the third time they filed for dismissal. They have not been granted a dismissal yet. You see what I'm saying? This is not no amateur move right here. Tony Buzbee did this knowing that they was going to attack that. They knew they was going to jump on that little girl. They jumped on her. Man, they boom, boom, boom. Not man. Hey, we got him. Hey, Jigga, we got him. Jigga, we got him, baby. Hey, we got him, man. That little girl lying over there. Man, yeah. And then not only that, y'all even went to links. Think about it. Buzbee got so much dirt on Jay-Z's team. He like, man, look, y'all have paid people to falsify as public officials. You know what I'm saying? State officials. Y'all have people creating fake badges, and y'all work for an agency. Come on, gang. Like, come on, man. This is nasty. This ain't no little work, homie. And I'm like, maybe if I was in another life, some nigga Nina boy might be a lawyer. Like, man, at 3:30 a.m., that nigga, he was at the CVS, man. They got him on camera right now. You know what I'm saying? They become a hood lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, this is some nasty work, gang. Let's go.
It is becoming a public spectacle. But yesterday, Buzbee had a plaintiff sue him for contracting an STD. Let's take a look. Oh my God. Jane Doe by her attorneys as and for her complaint herein against Tony Buzbee alleges the following. Jane Doe brings this complaint seeking compensation for the harm she has suffered at the hands of defendant Tony Buzbee for his repeated failure to put his ethical obligations as an attorney over his self-interest. Defendant's deceit and lack of care left plaintiff with an incurable disease and caused her to lose out on assets she would have retained through her divorce. Since 2018, defendant has taken advantage of plaintiff for his own personal gain, but that ends now. The first time the parties met, defendant lured her into having a sexual encounter with him by concealing the fact that he had a venereal disease. Defendant knew of the risk that he would pass the disease to plaintiff if he did not take the appropriate precautions. And when the risk materialized, he manipulated her to protect himself from reputational harm using his status as a licensed attorney. Defendant convinced plaintiff to waive her right to monetary compensation contracting a venereal disease from defendant in exchange for free legal services, and then became possessive of plaintiff in order to keep her close and prevent her from exposing him from what he did to her. On one occasion, defendant became physically violent when he observed plaintiff speaking to another man at a bar in New York, leaving her with 2 broken teeth. Plaintiff became fearful of what defendant would do if she ever spoke out against defendant. In 2021, the result of the defendant's manipulation, plaintiff allowed defendant, who had just married a woman 23.
I love Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
You don't know Monday.com? This is Monday.com.
3 years younger than him to represent her in her divorce. Defendant assured plaintiff that he would fight for her to receive her fair share of material assets, but rather than uphold his promises and ethical obligations to zealously advocate for plaintiff's interests within the confines of the law, defendant used the opportunity to doctor plaintiff's medical records to make it look as if he could not have been the one who infected her with the venereal disease. Defendant then used his blatantly falsified records to attempt to blackmail the plaintiff's husband.
Man, listen, if y'all don't see this, hey, listen, this is Jay-Z's legal team. Look, they gotten one of these little, you know what I'm saying, Tony jump offs, you know what I'm saying, and to file a lawsuit. Come on, all of this is happening now out of the thin air. Come on, man. This is nothing but Jay-Z's legal team over here. You found some girl to say that he gave you a STD, STI, whatever one you want to call it. Come on, man. This is crazy to me. Like, y'all still, this is nasty work. Nigga, right now, Jay-Z is showing them like, I'm filing lawsuits on everything you do, anything you say, anything you did in the past, I'm coming for you. This is exactly what this looked like. Think about this, man. Look how crazy this is. They know Buzbee already filed 3 lawsuits against Roc Nation and them, and he got audio and footage showing that these people pose as public offenders. You know, damn, boy, Jay-Z, nigga, they fighting for you. Hey, now I see what that type of money do. Cause come on, man, think about this. I'm not no lawyer, but you would think you have to put a PI on some shit like this. You see what I'm saying? To go pull up the dirt, go look at everything somebody got going on. The way to handle business now is hire a PI. He'll go do all the dirty work, come back with that package for you. Look, this last phone records. This is where he go every Tuesday. That's all you got to do, man. A lot of y'all don't even understand. You ain't got to go out and do it yourself no more, man. Go pay a PI or something. You see what I'm saying? Hey, man, all right, I charge $350. Here go $400. You see what I'm saying? Get that. Hey, I need to know everything what you need to know about that man in a week, and then get it done, man. You see what I'm saying? They pulling up tax records. You go to your job, follow you from your job. Come on, man. Hey, this is some nasty work. You see what I'm saying? Now Buzbee being hit with a lawsuit because somebody that he ain't, you know what I'm saying, he was stuffing her, you know what I'm saying, hitting her. And now look how long it's been. Now you want to hit him with this lawsuit. On top of that, you stating that he gave you a disease? Like, that's an embarrassment, man. So Jay-Z team look like they fighting back. Jay-Z team look like they fighting hard. They ready for whoa. They stuffing with the big dogs. And this is what happens when you got that type of money. You can play ball. You can play ugly like that. Jay-Z got that type of money, man. Look, man. Jay-Z a cold dude for this one, man. And because you got to approve what's going on with your lawyer. So he knew about this gang. Let's go.
Husband to circumvent ordinary negotiations to distribute assets in the context of the divorce. When that failed, defendant arranged a settlement that left plaintiff with a fraction of what she should have received in order to resolve the matter as quickly as possible and bury his egregious conduct. Defendant recklessly gave the plaintiff a venereal disease and manipulated her into silence. In early 2018, plaintiff connected with the defendant online, where he charmed her with conversation and persuaded her to meet in person for a date. Plaintiff traveled to the defendant's hometown of Houston, Texas, where he took her to dinner and a show. After the show, defendant invited plaintiff to stay and have a few drinks, and then arranged for them to spend the night in a 5-star hotel. Defendant seduced plaintiff into engaging in sexual activities without disclosing that he had a venereal disease. After spending the night with the defendant in early 2018, plaintiff began to feel uncomfortable sensations around her groin. Plaintiff,
man, come on, y'all. Nigga, hey, listen, you playing with Tony Buzbee top at this point. Like, man, this is a millionaire. What millionaires run around here with venereal diseases? Cuz, like, come on, bro. Like, nigga, that broke people walk around with a disease. Like, if you got a disease, you a millionaire, you gonna go get that shit cleared up. Come on, bro. Like, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You see, come on, man. Like I said, kid, I'm not no lawyer, man. I'm a street nigga. I'm like, man, let me have some money and a bitch give me something like that, nigga. Man, I got the type of money to get that shit gone in 24 hours. And I'm getting a premium shit to clear it up. Not that county shit. You go to the county, so you take this pill, you drink water for 3 days, and you gonna be all right. Nah, not that shit. We talking about that millionaire shit. That shit, nigga, that get about your system in 24 hours. Money buy you certain type of things. When you get in that county and all that type of shit, you're not even getting premium services. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might work after a while, but shit, I just think this is crazy. The fact that she's describing, that her vagina, her little cootie cat, that it was stinking. She got her cootie cat all in this lawsuit. You understand what I'm saying? He gave me a venereal. She's scratching over here. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she smelling her fingers and something ain't right. Some of you motherfuckers bras that had that little itch down there. And you like, oh my God. I'm just fucking with you. Let's finish this up, hey. Shout out to AV, man, to the 7 Power, man. Dope narration. She's definitely a lawyer for sure. Let's go.
Made an appointment with her physician to address the issue. Shortly after the appointment, plaintiff's physician informed plaintiff that she had contracted a venereal disease from her encounter with the defendant. Plaintiff's physician shared her unfortunate news that the venereal disease was an incurable disease that could cause her pain and embarrassment for the rest of her life. After receiving the venereal disease diagnosis, plaintiff called the defendant to inform him that he had transmitted a disease to her. Defendant was apologetic and unsurprised because upon information and belief, he was already aware that he had a venereal disease and that he did not take appropriate precautions to prevent transmission when they were engaging in sexual activities. Defendant instructed plaintiff not to tell anyone and offered to provide free legal services as compensation for his deceit and carelessness that resulted in plaintiff contracting an incurable disease. Filled with the shame and grief over her diagnosis, plaintiff continued seeing defendant, the only sexual partner she would not have to inform of her venereal disease test result. Defendant became possessive of the plaintiff in order to keep her close and manipulate her into keeping his secret. Defendant began inviting plaintiff on trips with him on his private jet to Panama and New York City. While in New York City with defendant, plaintiff and a friend had a drink at a bar where defendant would later meet them. When the defendant entered, he observed plaintiff conversing with another patron at the bar. In a jealous rage, defendant smashed plaintiff's glass into her face, causing plaintiff's front teeth to chip. Plaintiff became fearful of what defendant would do if she ever spoke out against the defendant and stayed silent until filing this lawsuit. Defendant committed legal malpractice and violated his ethical duties to cover up his misdeeds. Approximately 2.5 years later in 2021, plaintiff and her then husband initiated a divorce. Consistent with his promise to provide free legal services in exchange for plaintiff's silence, defendant undertook representation of plaintiff in her divorce. Defendant assured plaintiff that he would fight for her to receive her fair share of the marital assets. Defendant used his position as the plaintiff's sole attorney as an opportunity to doctor plaintiff's medical records to make it look as if he could not have been the one who infected her with the venereal disease. Specifically, defendant falsified the test to show that she contracted the venereal disease in 2020 from her soon-to-be ex-husband rather than in 2018 from the defendant. On April 13, 2021, defendant sent a demand letter to plaintiff's husband with a knowingly fraudulent claim that he, rather than the defendant, had infected the plaintiff with a venereal disease. Defendant's attempt to blackmail did not work, and plaintiff's husband continued to litigate the divorce. On June 14, 2021, prior to mediation in the divorce proceeding, plaintiff's husband made requests for discovery related to defendant. Defendant insisted that the divorce settle quickly and without discovery. Upon information and belief, defendant provided this advice to avoid production of the documents that would cover his fraud and his role in infecting plaintiff with the venereal disease in 2018. At defendant's insistence and direction, plaintiff entered into a divorce agreement that resulted in a dramatic loss for plaintiff, who otherwise stood to recover an equitable split of marital assets. Defendant also directed that the divorce settlement include an arbitration clause, precluding plaintiff from further litigation with her husband. Defendant inserted this term to prevent his involvement with being exposed in courts open to the public. First cause of action is legal malpractice. Second cause of action is violation of judiciary law. Third cause of action is breach of fiduciary duty. Fourth cause of action, fraudulent misrepresentation. Fifth cause of action, tortious interference. Sixth cause of action, declaratory judgment. Prayer for relief. What does Jane Doe want? She wants actual damages, consequential damages, punitive damages, and any such other relief available under the causes of action in the amount to be determined at trial. A declaration that the divorce...
It's a money grab. Look, clearly, you see what I'm saying? Actual damages, like, come on, man. You got rid of that shit about 2-3 years ago, man. You see what I'm saying? This is a money grab. Now, this is playing with somebody's top, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not looking good, man. I'm gonna leave it right there, man. But I can say this. if you got to understand, man, we're talking about the courts. We're talking about this great country we live in, justice system, right? Jay-Z got the type of money to make this disappear. If he was really innocent, come on, man, come on. This young lady's testimony, that was a pump fake. That law firm had to think like, wait a minute, knowing that she's she's stating that she don't remember everything, but she's giving you bits and pieces. He knew that them people would eat it up over there. He knew that they would debunk her statement. You see what I'm saying? It was too much inconsistent, and we're judging her from an adult speaking on what happened in the past, but y'all not looking at she has special needs. She has autism. You see what I'm saying? That changed the playing field completely. It's no way you can debunk that. This is somebody who say it too much, say the wrong thing, and people come up at you. What you say about my mother, nigga? Nah, man. It's from what I'm looking at, homie. I'm looking at it like this, right? If Jay-Z was so innocent, right? This is going to open up the door for Ramil. You see what I'm saying? He is the son of Jay-Z. Allegedly, his mama died. She signed the affidavit. She had her closest friend who verified her claims that Jay-Z was all up in her little cookie, thinking hit her little, you know what I'm saying? Why haven't he signed that? He don't want no money either. He's saying, I just want you to acknowledge me as your son, and I want the world to know that I am your son and you is my dad. I don't want no money. Just keep your bread, bro. I'm going to get it on my own, but I want you to understand that my mama did have, alleged activities with you, and she was a minor. You see what I'm saying? So Jay-Z is under fire right now, man. You got to understand something. Beyonce is over there, man. You got to, you know what I'm saying? She over there hearing everybody talk about her dude, her husband. But then when you look at it, I think Jay-Z had her at this age. This is Beyonce that Jay-Z was with. You see what I'm saying? And she was no more than what, 19, 20? He was already damn near 30. You see what I'm saying? So, they go look at a pattern, man. They go look at it like, everybody got a little dirt up under their fingernails, man. You see what I'm saying? Everybody ain't perfect. There's some people out here that got a little dirt up under their fingernails, Some of y'all cousins got some horrific situations that's in your family. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all niggas, some of the women remember them uncles that used to come in the bathroom when ain't nobody was home and shit, talking about he trying to go wash his hand. There's some women that probably experienced some shit like that. So, yeah, man, right now, y'all got to understand something, man. Jay-Z is definitely going to have to fight this case. And this ties into Diddy's trial. You see what I'm saying? He's doing a 2-for-1 right now. Tony Buzbee right now, man, he's on fire. He's probably one of the top prominent lawyers that have a breakout year. You see what I'm saying? He put in lawsuits. He filing, man. He more than one claim. You see what I'm saying? So y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all tune in, man. Y'all rock with me over here this long, man. I want to appreciate everybody pull up. If y'all ain't subscribed to this channel, man, subscribe to it. We will be, commentating on what's going on with Jay-Z's issue. We're doing Diddy over here. I don't know. We're doing some cool shit, man. I'm trying to stay out the drama. Half these niggas talking about their mountains, and I'm trying to stay away from the bullshit. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Let's go.